Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to ZSR2 and welcome to the DoomZoom. It's the DoomZoom zone. And it's the Wind Waker HD 80% no manual super swim and no pause storage tournament 2021. Two more matches today. The final semi-final right now here will be between Sabxander and Nacho. And then the winner of this going up in grand finals right after this against Assisiel. So without further ado, let's make it over and let's hand it to our commentary duo for the night. To Mr. Alberto and to Whittier Freak. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Mr. Alberto.
Hello, and I am Video Freak.
Now today we have a matchup between Sabxander and Nacho. Nacho just eliminated Greylick yesterday and is headed up against Sabxander, who won earlier in round 2, I believe, and so the winner of this goes to grand finals, and I'm really excited. These are two really good runners heading off against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Both Nacho and Sabxander are very, very fantastic runners, so this should be a very fun race to watch.
Looks like both runners will be deleting a save file and then starting in place of it to make that very first save faster. For some reason, that's required for the first save to be fast.
Yeah, it's a little interesting, but it's a really good time save that I believe saves something like 4 or 5 seconds over not doing that for the first save. Something very small, but very, very important for the category and for just Wind Waker in general.
Yep. So the time will be starting at 20 seconds. We'll be starting off this race. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Alright, so to explain a little bit about the category that we are going to be doing today, hopefully a lot of you still know what this category is or have watched the previous races of the DoomZoom tournament, but this is Wind Waker HD 80% no manual super swim, no pause storage. So it's beat the game as fast as you can, but those two tricks are banned. What those two tricks really are is the manual super swim is a really difficult super swim that you could do by pausing while going back and forth in the water. It's a really input intensive trick that happens at the beginning of any unrestricted category. And then the other trick is pause storage, which allows you to save warp out of cutscenes and effectively skip them. But for right now, what they are going to be doing instead of doing the manual super swim, as this is a no manual super swim category, they will start off by pretty much playing the game as intended. Going to talk to Grandma, get the hero's clothes, getting the sword, saving Tetra from the forest, boarding the pirate ship, so on and so forth.
Now, I do notice a difference between the language used by both runners. Sabxander is he's Eastern European, so he has a PAL Wii U. So he could just use the Wii U language settings to change the language to Italian, which is the fastest language. However, Nacho, being from Costa Rica, he has a North American Wii U, and he's playing on Spanish, which is the fastest language available to people with the North American Wii U, or else you have to homebrew your Wii U to region unlock. So, oh, that a bonk from Sabxander. Looks like Nacho is a little bit in the lead. Yeah, so we'll see that Spanish makes a little bit of a difference. It's probably maybe 15 to 20 seconds in this category, slower than Italian.
There are also a couple of other benefits of having Italian over Spanish in very specific parts of the run. It just makes getting certain cycles a little bit faster as there's not as much text to go through before.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing. I'm not really sure. There's this early light cycle that'll be coming up in Forsaken Fortress 1. I'm not sure if it's possible on Spanish because not every text box is slower on Spanish. It's just the overall general, but some of them are actually faster. So I've never tried the early light cycle in Forsaken Fortress 1. That's 15 seconds. If a runner will get it. So I don't know. I don't think we've seen anyone get that so far in this tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not quite yet.
And it's just such a tight cycle, and it's so risky because if you miss the cycle and you go for it anyway, you get caught by the searchlights. And if you didn't get the 2 red rupees, you have to go back and get them.
Yes, rupees are very, very important in the very beginning part of this run, as the runners will need 80 rupees in order to buy the sail on Windfall Island. So you'll notice that in the Forest of Fairies and in Forsaken Fortress, they're going to be getting some rupees to try and make sure that the amount of rupees they need to collect on Windfall is as low as possible.
Both runners getting the telescope, and we'll be using it to aim at the bird. And there's a small time save you can do where you flick up with the motion-controlled gyro aim. See if the runners get it.
Looks like Nacho and Sab both got it.
Both runners getting it, yeah. You can skip one of Errol's text boxes that normally appear. If you flick up quickly, you hear the sound of the text box coming out, but Errol just doesn't quite get it out. She's supposed to go, bah! But
Yeah.
she just doesn't even get that out if you flick up fast enough. These runners are dead even. I expect it to stay this way for a while.
Yeah, the early game, there isn't too much that can really separate these runners. There are a couple of like really good time saves, but when the really big difference in speed comes in and where the runners will start to drift apart a little bit in terms of how much time they are from each other, really comes with the grappling hook at the end of Dragon Roost Cavern. So until then, there are going to be a few techniques and a few strategies that they can do to speed themselves up and try and get a lead on the other. But it'll really start to get fast whenever the grappling hook gets achieved.
Right, so the runners will be fighting Orca. Orca requires you to do different kinds of sword slashes, but he doesn't care what the third and fourth is. So if you hold back on the third slash and then forward on the fourth, you get the fastest combo possible. It's like Nacho having a little bit of trouble just mistiming his analog stick directions. That gives Sabxander the lead right now.
Yep. You can tell when they get the quick sword maneuvers whenever they have that little spin attack animation at the very end.
Yep. And runners will be going for a quick parry to try to shorten the second parry. It's like Sabxander going a little early, but I think he'll still get it. Yep, Sabxander getting the quick parry.
And so did Nacho.
The Nacho. Nacho having a little bit of issue going for a jump spin. I think that made his jump attack miss. Sabxander getting a little bit of a lead. A little bit, just a few seconds. Alrighty, so both runners will be save warping, which is faster than leaving the house normally and then rolling all the way across outset by a few seconds. And both runners will be headed to the Forest of Fairies to go save Tetra.
Yep, and on the way to Forest of Fairies, or while they're in Forest of Fairies, this is where the rupee route will start. But while we're going up to Forest of Fairies, I did want to talk a little bit about how combat works in this game, and how the sword generally does its damage. So a normal horizontal slash or thrusting slash or a vertical slash, those will all do 1 unit of damage with the hero sword. A spin attack and a jump attack both individually do 2 units of damage each. However, there is another kind of technique called a jump spin, which this property is only really something that's found in HD, where if you do a spin attack out of a jump attack, you end up doing 4 units of damage with a spin attack. This is something that only is in HD. The jump spin just does 2 damage in SD, but in HD, that's one of the fastest ways that you can use to get rid of an enemy here. So we actually might see a couple of jump spins in this Bokoblin fight coming up. Ideally, just 1 jump spin.
Very nice from Sabxander. Nacho having a little bit of issue, but we'll be making quick work of the other Bokoblin. It's just hard to know which Bokoblin you're going to target, and these runners are trying to go for a side hop jump slash quick spin. The side hop allowing you to hit the ground faster if you then get a jump slash after, but kind of random which Bokoblin you target, and sometimes you can either backflip by accident or jump slash by accident. And so Nacho having some issues, but Sabxander getting the nice double hit on those jump slash quick spin. Both Bokoblins taking him out instantly. So Sabxander once again pulling ahead by a little bit. Just little by little, his outset has just been a little bit cleaner than Nacho's.
So here comes the big inspiration for the story here. The biggest reason why Link goes to fight an old god that is living in a flooded land. His sister gets kidnapped by a giant bird. And so this is the cutscene that just kind of establishes that. Not too much to say about this one, but I do believe a couple of models from this cutscene end up getting left over for something a little bit later. One thing to also consider coming out of this cutscene is the rupee route. So at the end of Outside Island, in order for them to not spend as much time collecting rupees on Windfall, they want to have at least 25 rupees coming out of Windfall Island, or coming out of Outside Island. If they are a little bit low on that rupee count, then they'll need to make it up either in Forsaken Fortress or in Windfall, as there's no fast way to get rupees on the main part of Outside Island.
Yeah, really, the whole goal is to get to a multiple of 5 rupees more. So Sabxander has 26 rupees, which saves a blue pot. It looks like Nacho's got 23, so either he's going to get 2 more in Forsaken Fortress, or he's going to roll the dice on Flowers and Windfall to try to get that to 25. Maybe if he's even lucky, to 30. So really, the whole point is just to skip some of the blue pots of Windfall, because some of them are not very fast to get.
Yeah, 2 of them are... There are 2 pots that are for sure on the way to Zanari, and one of them can be harvested twice. It's just a little bit out of the way to harvest that one twice. Otherwise, you may have to do a little bit of extra rupee grinding if you have to get more than 15.
Runners will be heading back to Grandma, jump slashing over the fence. Simple stuff.
Yeah, a couple of little quick time saves and optimizations, like right here, they're getting ready to backflip off a ladder. Those types of things just really kind of help make this part go as fast as possible.
Yep. And Grandma's not too happy about Errol being kidnapped.
No, not at all. Grandma Peepo's sad. Yep.
Peepo's sad.
So because we are doing a no pause storage route, we actually get to watch this cutscene leaving Outside Island. And this is a very fun cutscene because Nintendo did not do a very good job at cleaning this cutscene up for any extra things that shouldn't be in there. what I'm mainly talking about is that at the very end of this cutscene, there is going to be a moment where you can see an extra model of Link and Tetra above the crowd on the beach. So right now, we see on Sabxander's screen everybody on the beach waving. Just keep in mind of where exactly they are on the island, and I will let you know when to look above them to see the extra Link and Tetra model.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how they're just so lazy with this cutscene.
Yeah, and like at one point too, if you keep looking at the crowd on the beach, they just stop. They completely freeze.
No more waving.
Yeah.
Trying to move on with our lives.
See, they're completely frozen right now.
So you gotta look closely. You're gonna see Link and Tetra floating above the crowd.
It should be appearing on Sabxander's screen right about now.
Look, there they are.
Yeah, a little bit tiny, but they're there.
We wouldn't notice, but we did. Thank you, Nintendo.
So next up here is Rope Game, and Rope Game is more challenging than it seems. These ropes are very weird in how they work. They like to oftentimes push you off to one side or the other. Sometimes whenever you let go of the rope, you immediately grab onto the rope again, and so Rope Game is a little bit more challenging than it seems at the start. So let's see how these runners are able to navigate Rope Game.
Yeah, it's really the last two ropes that usually give you the most trouble. The first two, you can really just swing for a little bit and then get off pretty quickly. But the last two, you actually want to swing for a little bit longer, or else they tend to be pretty inconsistent in which direction they could send you. They could send you forwards, backwards, side to side, you name it, and you could just miss the platform. It's pretty annoying. So we'll see how these runners fare.
Yeah, the amount of times I've been popped to the left on that last rope and ended up missing that platform is way too high. It's very annoying. So Sabxander was able to navigate that with no issues. Let's see how Nacho does Rope Game.
Oh, Nacho almost missed that almost missing again.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see there how the game kind of pops him over to the right there. It happened to Sabxander too, but it benefited him in that case.
Ooh. Nacho just by the skin of his teeth making it. Yeah, both runners getting the spoils bag in a pretty decent time.
Yeah, sub 15 spoils bag is a very, very good thing. That lets you know you're on a great pace.
Yep. And, both runners will be doing Forsaken Fortress. You can side hop into this cutscene to move a little bit further than normal. See if the runners go for it. Alright, Sabxander going for this side hop. Alright, not sure if Sabxander is going to be going for the early cycle. It's pretty risky. Nacho going for a roll. We'll lose him a little bit of time, but none of this will matter, depending on the light cycle. So, when you first spawn in this area, the lights start moving. They move during the cutscene, too. And, basically, the runners will be trying to have fast enough movement where they can pick up both red rupees before the lights start shining on those rupees, because they do need them to buy the sale, and it's very, very tight, and as I mentioned, very risky, because if you are too slow and you go for those rupees, those lights will spot you, and you can just barely make it. I'm not sure if it's if it's easier on Italian or Spanish, but my gut tells me that it's easier on Italian. So, Sabxander playing on Italian, he went for the side hop into the cutscene to try to move him a little bit further, but Nacho rolling, because basically you can keep your speed as long as you're mid-air, or else the cutscene stops you if you're on land. So, we'll see if Sabxander goes for it. If he does, that's a meaty 15-second time save over Nacho. But first, after this cutscene, the runners will be having to perform a skip, known as the Gossip Zone text skip. Basically, there's this text that you're supposed to pick up when you first reach Forsaken Fortress, but that's only required if you get the bombs in the pirate ship, because in categories that get bombs, that's actually the flag to change the pirate ship from spoils back to bombs. But in this category, we won't be getting the bombs from the pirate ship, so runners will be opting to go for this pretty precise jump to try to land on one of the rocks and then they can go up without having watched the Gossip Stone text. So we'll see how that goes for the runners, and if it's first try, maybe we'll see an early light cycle.
Yeah, in this category, it really is hit or miss on whether or not you do get the Gossip Stone. It doesn't matter to the goal of the route and to the goal of the end of the game, but it is much faster to skip the text. By a long shot. So Sab getting a first try Gossip Stone's good.
Is he gonna go for it? Is he going for it? Oh, it looks like he's
going
going for it.
He got
Very nice from Sabxander.
Oh,
There's
wow.
an early light cycle. And Nacho missing the Gossip Stone tech skip. That's going to give Sabxander quite a bit of a lead. That's 15 seconds. Nacho now has to go get rupees. He's got to wait for the lights. Sabxander going for the...
Let's try window jump.
Window jump without a setup. All right. Very, very nice. That is a pretty difficult jump you can use to skip going indoors twice to get to this bokoblin that you have to take out. This is the only searchlight that you have to take out. And so what he's going to be doing is going to be leading the bokoblin to the pot, make the bokoblin break the pot, and then he's just going to spin attack him off the platform. Very nice. And that fall damage will kill him. Then using the stick to do window jump the second time. It's easier and quicker to use the stick.
Yeah, so far Sabxander is having a pretty much flawless FF1. This is really impressive to watch.
After a good outset, too. Nacho having a bit of trouble with the bokoblin. Sabxander's early game just very clean so far.
Absolutely. So, fun fact about these moblins, they are the worst security guards in the world. You could just roll past them. And they don't care.
You don't... in the GameCube version, you cannot do this, but they made the moblins kind of a pushover in the HD version. They have to... when they spot you, they run after you for a good 5 seconds before they catch you. So you can just roll past both of them without any issues. If you have correct movement, they'll never catch you. It looks like Sabxander getting good RNG. The moblin didn't even spot him. It's actually RNG how long he sniffs for. And so if he sniffs for too long, he won't even have a chance to even start running after you. But even if he does, you can hug the wall and get out of his line of sight fast enough that he won't even catch you. Yeah, so Sabxander... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, going across these ledges generally is pretty slow if you're just holding to the direction. So to get past these little side of ledges, the trick is just to very quickly tap in the direction that you want to go. It's a little bit weird why that works, but instead of just holding the direction, the trick is to just keep tapping that direction.
Saving the frames.
Yeah, and here we come with Sabxander getting the sword. The easiest way to get rid of this green bokoblin here is a... Yep, exactly what Sabxander did right there. One thrusting slash, which double hit the green bokoblin, plus another one to get 3 hits on the green bokoblin, followed by a jump spin. That instantly kills the green bokoblin every time. That was a very good FF1 on Sabxander's end.
Up 21 FF1.
That's nuts. I wonder if that was a gold.
I would assume it was. That's one of the best FF1s I've seen in a while.
That would have been a sub 20 FF1 with pause storage. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Sabxander on the run of his life.
Yeah, Sabxander is
really not that far behind. We know that none of this time save really matters in the context of some of the tricks they're going to do after they get the grapple. But for now, Sabxander enjoying his early lead.
Yeah, there's a very interesting relationship in this run with how the further into the run you get, the more difficult the tricks become. Right now, in the early game, tricks are fairly simple. They're just a lot of movement optimizations. But once we get the grappling hook and enter into the mid-game, tricks are going to start getting a lot harder there. And then once we get into the end game, tricks tend to become very, very difficult. So it's a very interesting relationship with how that works. So this cutscene here actually does have a couple of important notes to it. The first important note is that it is really, really long and does not have any text boxes. So it is the perfect opportunity for the runner to set their controller down, go grab a drink, use a bathroom break, do whatever they need to because they have the time. But it also has the important quality of spawning the King of Red Lions into the game. If you had seen an unrestricted any percent run, you would have noticed that the King of Red Lions was missing in a lot of areas that you would expect him to be. That is because this cutscene hasn't been watched yet, and this cutscene itself is what brings the King of Red Lions into the game. We get to use him a grand total of 1 time during this speedrun, so we'll get to enjoy him while he lasts. Right now, we are getting ready to enter Windfall Island. It does look like that Nacho did pick up a couple of backup rupees in FF1. I did notice him go for a couple of those, so we should have a good amount of rupees here. What they want is at least 65 rupees, so that way they can get a quick 15 rupees. 70 rupees going into Windfall Island would be the most ideal, as they only need to collect 2 blue rupee pots on the way.
Yeah. I believe Sabxander has a 1 more rupee than Nacho, and he could go for flowers here to try to get to 70, which, as you mentioned, is the most ideal.
66 rupees. Let's see if he goes for the flowers.
You could get 4 rupees here, which would be really good, but it's RNG how many rupees you get from the flowers.
3 rupees.
1 more. Oh no! Just trolling him with the lovely 69 rupees.
So
nice.
There is 1 blue rupee pot underneath that ramp there. Sabxander will have to get that blue rupee pot a second time, and then there's going to be another one in some bushes nearby Zunari, or at least on the way.
Well, actually, a really interesting play he could do is there's 2 pots on the ledge. He could go for those 2 pots. One of them has a green, and the other one has a blue. So he could do that. Wonder if he knows about that, or if he's watching the stream. The funny thing about those rupees is that Nacho getting 69 too, so both runners could opt for this.
Both runners are pretty nice.
Looks like Nacho going for the blue. He's got 74. Both runners having 74. So yeah, the sad thing about the pots is that it's RNG whether the rupees fall off, but you can get both, and that'll give you 6. So you can do that or get 2 more blue pots.
I did not know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a green and a blue right next to each other. But yeah, the rupees move in an RNG direction, so they can just fall off the ledge, and it's sad. The blue ends up falling off more often, I've noticed. We'll see what Sabxander's going to decide to do. Okay.
Sabxander is skipping those pots. They're 1 rupee short. They're going to need to make...
Over here, this is guaranteed to be a green or more. There you go. Okay, I did not think about that pot.
That's, that's a really good backup.
That'll work too. Yep, the pot behind Zunari, it's always going to be at least a green, so...
Alright, let's see how Nacho handles this.
See what Nacho decides to do. If he's just going to copy Sabxander, or... I don't know.
Looks like they're going for it, yeah.
Yep, they're both doing the same thing. You rarely see runners go for this pot.
Ooh, 20 rupees out of that one. That's really lucky.
Yeah, okay. that pot can give you anything, but, I mean, it's guaranteed to be at least a green. It can give you a green, a blue, a yellow, or a red, and Nacho rolling the highest roll on that one. Just to show off his RNG skills.
Oh, yeah.
So Sabxander's heading over to Dragon Roost. He's taking out the sail and putting it away repetitively. And what this effectively does is that each time you pull out the sail, you get a little bit of a boost. And so actually this saves a few seconds per quadrant. Just saving all the seconds, because each little boost just adds up as you're sailing. And that's the fastest way to sail.
Yeah, more specifically, it saves 2 seconds per quadrant traveled, and they're having to travel 2 quadrants here, so 4 seconds overall. versus not doing this.
Enjoy it while you can, because this is the only selling section of the run. Well,
Yep.
hopefully.
After this, we abandon the King of Red Lions, and he effectively becomes a catcher's mitt as we as we have to use him to stop ourselves on a certain few areas. But we'll see how we'll see that come up as it goes through here. Right now, they are heading towards Dragon Roost Island, and this is where the no manual super swim route and the manual super swim route meet up, where the manual super swim takes you to Dragon Roost Island, very first thing in the game. So this cutscene is where these two routes meet up. The exception being that any percent still has to go do Forsaken Fortress 1 because the King of Red Lions is required to complete the game.
Yep. And one thing you may notice is that all the text on Sabxander's screen is appearing in one frame, and now it's scrolling. So when there's actually two types of text in this game. There's something called the quick text, which is what I mentioned earlier when you first arrive to Dragon Roost. And then there's the regular scrolling text. For the quick text, whenever you press B, it makes all the text appear on the screen in one frame. While for the scrolling text, you have to wait for the text box to finish, and then you can press A or B to cancel the text. So what runners will opt to do is hold B, so that they always get that one frame text, and then mash the A button. While for regular text, it doesn't matter whether you press A or B, the text is always going to scroll at the same speed. And so they're going to alternate between A and B for that default text.
Sabxander going for the very first skip on Dragon Roost Island, which is something called Rock Jump, Rock Hop, Rock Skip, whatever you want to call it. But it is a very quick jump that you can do past the boulder to skip a very long puzzle involving throwing bomb flowers at rocks, and saves quite a bit of time. So you'll see Nacho getting ready to do it here in a moment as well.
Good friend Jerry. Jerry Floss. Hello, Jerry. Wait, where? Jerry, where? Right, nice. Nacho doing that mid-air jump slash to make it so that he doesn't grab the ledge.
Yeah, it's slightly slower to grab the ledge and climb up.
I forgot to point out, but Sabxander got a sub-29 Wind Waker, which is very respectable in this category.
Yeah. Wow, this is... He's got to be on PB pace.
All the pace pals arriving to the stream to watch Sabxander's run. Where are all the pace pals that gather around? And it's just like Nacho's played well, but I mean it's hard to compete against someone who's literally playing seconds off their sum of S.
Yeah.
It's very. I think a lot of people would have trouble being ahead after the run Sabxander's had so far. He has lost basically no time in early game.
And I did notice a while ago, Nacho did get a little bit cheeky with a loading zone as he sidled into a door instead of opened it. So that was...
Yeah. Had a little bit of trouble with the sidling, though. I think he lost time going for it.
Oh, he absolutely did.
Yeah, it's just a cute time save. You could save like 4 frames or something. It's not a big time save.
There are only a couple of doors in the game that you can actually do that with. One of them being in Ganon's Tower, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, you can do that in Ganon's Tower. So Sabxander is getting the letter from Medley so he can go deliver it to the chief's son, and then we'll get the bottle from Medley.
Yeah, getting the bottle from Medley is going to be a big part of what sets the two different languages that the consoles are running apart. Whenever you enter into that area right before Dragon Roost Cavern, there is a cycle that starts immediately when you enter the room. It's a cycle of wind for it to blow in 4 directions and then go silent for a cycle. And as you are talking to Medley and going through that dialogue, the cycle is constantly moving and is constantly going. So with Italian, you're able to mash through that cycle really, really fast and have plenty of time to get in position to throw Medley onto the ledge so she can give you the bottle. Whereas on Spanish, you have to be a little bit faster with it, as the text scrolling does lose a little bit of time. You have to instantly throw Medley rather than taking time to get a setup working. So you'll get to notice that little difference between Italian and Spanish between Sab and Nacho.
Yep, Sabxander on your left is using Italian, so he's going to have no problems with the cycle. But Nacho, who's coming from right behind him, he is going to have to go as fast as possible in this room, because every single little movement error is actually going to cost Nacho some time, because there's no way to beat the cycle on Spanish.
So yeah, Sab getting in position and had to wait a couple moments for the wind to start blowing the correct direction. You'll see with Nacho, pretty much the moment after he picks up Medley, the wind is going to start changing direction. So
yeah, Nacho actually already did make a slight error. He was trying to get a landing roll, but I guess he didn't hold up for long enough, or maybe forgot to hold up, and so he just kind of landed, and that's going to cost him a good half second, so...
Ooh, I hope that's enough time.
No, it should be fine, but it is going to be time loss. Well, on Italian, it wouldn't lose you time, but on Spanish, yeah, he has to just throw Medley immediately, so did actually lose time to missing that landing roll, while Sabxander had to wait anyway because of Italian, didn't lose any time. No matter really what your movement is, you're not going to lose time on Italian.
So going into Dragon Roost Cavern here, there is an obstacle where there are two birds that are holding pots that you have to throw bombs into. There are a couple ways to navigate this. I believe both runners might opt for the intended way, which is to throw the bombs in each pot, but you can skip throwing the bomb in the second pot by either doing a bomb boost across the lava, or since they have a sword, they can do a very well-timed jump slash, which is faster than throwing the bomb in the second pot.
Yeah, see what the runners decide to go for. Looks like Sabxander going for it. Will he get it?
Let's see it. He got it.
You're getting it. Very nice. Good 3-second time save.
I believe in one of the previous rounds he did go for the intended strat, so that's cool. It bringing out more difficult strats for later rounds.
Yeah. Just flexing on us. So this is the Dragon Roost Caverns, the very first dungeon. We're actually not going to be completing the dungeon, but we will be going up to Grapple. You'll see an interesting mix of strats. Sabxander using a pot here, which is actually the swordless strat, but runners tend to go for that because you want to disarm the Bokoblin, and the stick tends to move in a really consistent direction if you throw the pot, instead of using the sword. And you see him throwing the stick at the second torch, which is faster than lighting it manually. So just a bunch of little time saves in this dungeon that can add up to tremendous amounts of time save throughout the entire split.
The one other thing to note as well is that the moment they entered Dragon Roost Cavern, a timer started going. They are trying to beat a cycle for a lava geyser that is in a later room. If they can do the very beginning part of DRC cleanly and quickly, they can beat the cycle and save a bit of time and not have to wait for the next time that they can move forward. But if they are a little bit slow and they miss that first cycle, it is a little bit of a time loss.
Sabxander bonking the ladder. He was going for 2 rolls, but didn't space out his rolls correctly. It probably should have only gone for 1.
We'll see if that costs him the cycle.
You can make
not.
the cycle by quite a bit. I'm pretty sure Sabxander was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, but missing the sword throw. That might cost him the cycle. Okay, now the cycle is a lot tighter for Sabxander. I do believe he can still make it, but only barely.
You'll also notice, as Nacho just did on his run, there are a couple of little time saves you could do with boulders, where during the bomb explosion animations, it starts a cutscene, but if you roll just before that cutscene starts, you roll through the cutscene and get to move a little bit. You get to move forward a little bit faster than just having to stay and watch that cutscene. Very slight time save, but still a very good time save.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Sabxander makes a cycle. He is going to the outdoor area right now. I believe he can make it, though.
Yep, looks like the geyser's going right now, so he has to go past Frank.
Is he
Frank
gonna make
decided
it?
to be...
Look like it. I think he's gonna make it. Oh,
No.
but that's down! I think he would have made that. I'm not sure, though.
It was tough to say. It would have either been the very last rung or it would have made it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some of those movement errors just adding up. That's really the story of this cavern. Just the small stuff adds up to big amounts of time loss throughout the entire dungeon. There's just so many things that can go wrong.
Let's see if Nacho gets the cycle here. It looks like they
very easily
cleared that by quite a bit. There was no question.
Not even close. That's gonna allow Nacho to catch up a good bit. His movement just a lot cleaner. Oh, and Nacho going for a frame perfect roll, while you saw Sabxander going for a side hop jump slash to clear that gap. So it's looking like Nacho's DRC allowing him to catch up a good bit over Sabxander, while Sabxander had a very clean early game up until this point. But DRC is just usually just the great equalizer.
Ooh, Sab having trouble with picking up that stick over and over.
Yeah.
A little bit of time lost there. So one benefit of having the sword in this dungeon is that it can pick up items. So normally in any percent you have to roll around that bird to get the key, but in No Manual Super Swim you could just stab it and it picks up the key automatically. One of the very subtle small differences between any percent and any percent No Manual Super Swim, but it does allow for a slight bit of time save as long as you remember that you do have the sword.
Sabxander going up on the 3 Bokoblin room, basically jump spin to win.
Yep.
Oh, but I've been missing.
He got the jump, but he didn't get the spin.
Oh, I don't
didn't
think
hit the
that's gonna
spin.
take him out either. I think he still needs to hit that Bokoblin one more time. Okay, this
Yep, there it is.
Yep. Spinning the camera to get the camera pan skip, very nice. We'll see how Nacho's a good room. He can catch up a little bit. Very nice from Nacho. Jump slashing onto the table to jump from the ladder from there and getting the pan skip. And it looks like Sabxander voiding out in the Magtail room. These runners are dead even.
Yeah, at this point, Nacho is officially caught up.
Yep. DRC, the great equalizer, as I said.
Yeah, there's so much small, subtle time save that you can get in this dungeon, but if you can get every bit of that time save, you can really go through this place very fast.
So we saw that lead that Sabxander had. It is no more. These runners literally dead even entering the final mini-boss fight. By final, I mean they're not going to be doing this dungeon after this. It's going to be leaving the dungeon.
Yep, in any percent and in No Manual Super Swim, you actually don't complete any dungeon at all, except for the very last one. Things are about to break in a very, very fun and cool way, but they first need to get past this mini-boss fight.
Yep, we're just here for the grapple, and that's it.
Yep, the grappling hook is one of the most broken items in this game.
Nacho picking up the sword. Looks like he's going to use that against the Moblin, just personal preference. Sabxander using his regular sword, which is faster. Very nice. That's going to allow Sabxander to reclaim a few seconds from Nacho, doing the faster strat with the jump spin with the hero sword. While Nacho using the Moblin sword, but getting some the Bokoblin sword, but getting some double hits. So these runners are done with this dungeon. We're going to be leaving. Basically, just 2 save warps. We're gonna save warp to the beginning of the dungeon, and then we're gonna leave the dungeon, and then save warp to the beginning of Dragoners, and then the fun can begin.
Oh yes.
So this item is a very powerful item. The grapple allows you to move around in first person, which is a change that Nintendo made for 4 different first-person items where you can move around. But Nintendo heavily failed in programming the movement. If you guys are aware of what a break slide is, especially seeing it in Twilight Princess, if you perform a break slide in first person, it's supposed to slow down your speed, very, very slow decay. But Nintendo added a 1.2 multiplier, so instead of decaying your speed, it multiplies your speed very quickly and allows us to do a lot of crazy broken stuff. First thing we're going to see is the runners charging speed and then super swimming across the ocean. And so Sabxander is going to be heading towards one of the fairy islands. He's headed towards Thorn Fairy, and he's going to clip into the island and get an early upgrade. He's going to be getting the quiver upgrade. It's like he's doing tree clip, so this is relatively new, this tree clip. Looks like
Nacho is also going for tree clip on Eastern Fairy Island, and he gets it first try.
Tree clip. Sabxander following shortly. Alright, both runners first try tree clip. That's really the big advantage of tree clip that runners prefer over the original, is that as long as you stay on the tree, you know it's going to work. So both runners with a pretty clean, Nacho's was instant, Sabxander following shortly. Both runners getting first try quiver clip from tree clip, and then I believe both runners will be going for the late bombs route. Correct me if I'm wrong, unless Nacho's going for the bomb skip. But Nacho's save warping. Both runners save warping. Okay. I guess, yeah, so both runners don't want to risk, if they fail the super swim, if they hadn't safety saved, they will have to save warp in the ocean, and that is very bad. Oh, wait,
well, no, Nacho didn't have a choice.
Oh, so Nacho's actually at Eastern Fairy, and Sabxander's at Thorn. So
yep.
Nacho's Thorn hopping. Very nice first try island hop from Nacho to Dragon Roost.
That was very, very nice. So Sab now going for a slightly different fairy clip method that you can use with the rock here. It looks like he got crushed by it, but using the rock, you can actually clip underneath the island, and if you turn at just the right time, you can hit the loading zone, which Sabxander was able to do.
Both
Nacho,
very close to each other.
Yeah. So Sabxander now has to island hop to Dragon Roost Island, while Nacho's getting ready to attempt Thorn Fairy here. And then they will be meeting up, and the routes will align once more once Forest Haven comes up next here.
Nacho getting Thorn Fairy very quickly as well. We'll have to see how Sabxander answers to that. He still has to do an island hop. So it looks like he's ahead, but he's actually not. He has to do an island hop and then a save warp, and then we'll see who's actually in the lead. Yeah, both runners getting very fast fairy clips. So the runners are getting two upgrades, the quiver upgrade and the bomb upgrade. That's because they're going to be getting the items a bit out of source, and so otherwise they wouldn't be able to use bombs or quiver or bow. They'd have 0 bombs and 0 arrows, but these items allow them to get those items and still use them. And Sabxander getting a first try island hop too. Yeah, it looks like these runners are still pretty even. I do think Sabxander has a slight lead over Nacho.
Yeah. The only bad part about Nacho with the Super Swim that he will need to perform is that it is RNG based due to the water level rising and falling.
This looks like a good water cycle, though.
Yes. Though he splooshed, interestingly enough.
In place! As he was turning, it clipped in place.
Ooh, not quite enough speed, I don't think. He's going for it, though.
Where can he go? Does he have enough? I think this is enough. If
it's
not,
really good ESS, yeah.
On Palm Island.
It was enough. He got there.
Hold the tightest of tight ESS, and yeah, Sabxander still in the lead. We thought Nacho was catching up a bit, but Sabxander just inching his way forward once again. Nacho having a little bit of issues on that super swim to Forest Haven. Man, this race is so close.
Yeah, this is really awesome.
This is neck and neck still. This is anybody's race. So this cutscene, the Deku Tree cutscene, is actually skippable, but only with pause storage. Basically, well, actually, there's two ways to skip this cutscene. One requires you to have bombs, and dying on the same frame as the Chew dying. You can actually die and skip the cutscene that way. Or you can use pause storage to save more from the cutscene, but both runners do not have bombs. While they do have the bomb upgrade, they will not be getting the bomb properly, the item properly, until Ganon's Tower. So, really, both runners just gonna be killing all the Chews and watching the cutscene. Pretty simple.
Getting some pretty bad Chew RNG, though, in terms of how they were spread out.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I think he accidentally, I think he went for a jump slash, and then got hit in midair by the Chews. We'll lose him a little bit of time. I don't know why he went for a jump slash. You really just want to spin the Chews.
There also is a little bit of RNG as well with the drops. The runners do want to be a little bit careful with their spin attacks or with their swords. Because they do have the spoils bag, enemies drop spoils. And if you happen to pick one up for the very first time, it plays a cutscene, which costs quite a bit of time here. And it's very easy to accidentally pick up a red or a green Chew Jelly during that sequence. So both runners were able to avoid the Chew Jelly pickups, so no time lost there.
Yeah, spoils bag is pretty annoying in this category.
Yeah, it also is the same with Bokoblins because they drop joy pendants, and the same thing can happen.
Just enjoying the cutscene with all the Koroks that we're not gonna save. And also learning about Makar that we're also not gonna save. We're just gonna yoink that Deku Leaf and peace out. Deku Leaf is a very important item in this category. It's one of the mandatory items. Right now it is skippable, but only for tasks. Basically, the big thing that the Leaf does, besides allowing us to use it, which it is used, there's one mandatory usage of Leaf in this category. All the others are skippable. The mandatory usage is to blow the Morph. As it turns out, blowing Morphs is the only mandatory usage for Leafs in the RTA category. Besides that, it gives you a magic meter, which allows you to shoot light arrows. So those big usages make the Leaf not skippable for humans. But there are some crazy ways to skip it for a task.
I was gonna say, I think you just broke my mind, because I can't imagine trial skip without a Leaf.
You can do it without Leaf. There's an item slide clip you can do, but it is much harder, and we just prefer using Leaf if we have it.
Yeah, I bet Leaf makes it much easier. So both runners right now scaling the Deku tree, and there is a bit of time save that they can do here by doing a bulb skip. They can skip the last bulb here with a very precisely aimed jump here, so Sab is going for it. And
Nice.
Looks like they just got it.
It's a pretty precise angle you have to line up, and you have a very limited amount of time to line it up too, so it's kind of scary. You can kind of mess up the angle, but if the Leaf is swinging towards you, you can get it pretty with a very lenient angle. It's like Nacho's angle pretty good. Regardless of where the Leaf was swinging, he was going to get that.
Yeah, that platform extends quite a bit further than what the actual graphic is. So, bit interesting. It allows that skip to work pretty nicely.
Sabxander is going to be performing the Beetle Swim, which is basically using the barrel as a slope to go into the water and swimming off it. Lots of speed from Sabxander. Heading off to Forsaken Fortress 2. We're actually going to go beat the game now, and this is our ticket down to Hyrule. We're going to have to climb all the way up and then clip into the loading zone, and those cutscenes we're going to watch will take us down to Hyrule.
Nacho also getting a very good Beetle Swim. That is the hardest super swim in this category due to how you have to use Beetle's barrel as a slope into the water. So, excellent work on both runners for getting that first try.
This movement from Sabxander, so clean. And Nacho right on his tail.
Absolutely. FF2 is one of the most item sliding, movement intensive parts of the run, and it looks it's always so satisfying to watch.
Satisfying to watch and satisfying to do, and both runners very cleanly making it up to the top with no issues. And so Sabxander will be performing the door clip. This is the hardest trick in the dungeon. You have to clip through this door with a pretty precise angle and pretty precise speed. You get too much speed, you gotta wait a while to lose speed until he clips.
Ooh, Sab looks like he failed the first try. Let's see how Nacho does. Nacho looks like had to reset their speed, but Sabxander's getting trouble with the second item slide.
In place a bunch. You need to make sure Link is in the correct running animation, also clip in place. Both runners doing door clip at the exact same time. Nacho looks like he had an incorrect angle, clipping in the stairs. Both runners having trouble with the camera angle. It's very, very tricky.
Yeah, this trick is a lot more precise than it seems. There's a very specific speed and angle that you have to go for. Link's running animation also matters. Looks like Sabxander has a ton of speed.
He's waiting.
So
just waiting the clip, and then you can go through the door. I do want to remind both runners, you guys are way, way
at the same time.
Guys, when you type in the chat, we know you're done with door clip, so
Yeah.
just want to remind you to please not spoil the race.
Yeah, runners, you are a bit ahead of us.
You're a bit ahead. So when I saw both you and Nacho type in chat, I knew either one, you decided to go AFK, or two, you finished door clip. Yes, both runners finishing door clip at literally the exact same time. This is still dead even. I can't believe it.
So this is officially the start of the end game gauntlet. Every single trick after this point, well, aside from Helm Rock Skip. Helm Rock Skip is easy, you just hold down. But every single trick entering a high roll gets progressively more and more difficult and more precise. This is where we have Barrier Skip coming up, then we have Trial Skip, as well as Puppet Ganon. Just the fight in general is really difficult. And the Morph Hover. So very, very difficult tricks coming up here. Let's see how this endgame gauntlet goes first. But right now we have to skip the Helm Rock King. It's a very, very simple boss fight. It's a very, very simple skip. You just item slide up the tower, and then whenever you climb up the ledge, you just hold down. It clips you out of bounds enough to walk on the railing outside of the arena. So we'll see both runners be doing that here, as it is significantly faster and also possible to do that as opposed to fighting the Helm Rock King. The runners don't have the required item to even damage the Helm Rock King, so this boss has to be skipped. Yes, and Mr. Alberto just posted in chat 2 very good summaries of both pause storage and the manual super swim. That gives you an idea of what these runners are currently not allowed to use during this run. Alright, so now the Helm Rock King boss fight is officially starting for both runners. It looks like Nacho does have a very slight lead, but only by probably about a second with his cutscene. So you'll see both runners immediately going up to item slide up this tower here and just kind of going across the wall. Nacho losing a bit of speed due to a small hop there, so Sab takes the lead as he moves up to the ledge to climb. Now this is where you can see the just hold down trick. They've clipped out of bounds, they crawled under the spikes, and are now walking on the railing outside of the arena.
Oh, but Nacho, jumping a little too far to the right, has to retry.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is a little bit tricky to kind of walk on this railing here. A lot of runners opt to do it in first person, just so that way they can see that they're running. But if you want to be super risky, you can do third person and even roll along that outside edge, though I've only seen like a couple people do that reliably.
Just to save a few seconds.
Yeah. Do you do that in your runs, Al?
I do them when I feel like the run's dead and I need every single second I can.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, no. I don't know. I'm pretty bad at it. When I do go for it, I very often fail it. So it's just really hard to roll along that railing because of just how narrow it is. And your rolls, unlike in Twilight Princess, you can't curve your rolls in this game. So if you roll in a bad direction, you are screwed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just weird to roll on a polygon when if you roll and you roll in the wrong direction of the polygon, you just fall off.
Yeah, the bad part is that if you fall off inside the arena, that's fine. You can back that up by just simply item sliding and clipping back out of bounds. But if you jump off the left side and fall out of the arena and void out, you have to climb the tower all over again.
It's actually a fun fact. It depends on where you fall off. If you fall off really, really late, like if you roll too far left, but it's very far ahead, you can actually pull leaf and then leaf back in bounds. But if you mess up really early and you go too far to the left, for some reason Link pops out of the collision and he's not allowed back in. So there's actually an invisible wall, but only early on. And at that point, you just have to void out. You can't even back it up with leaf.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that.
So yeah, if you're gonna mess up a roll, rather it be one of the later ones if you're gonna go too far left. Because then you can just pull leaf and then curve yourself back towards the thing. But yeah, basically it's very tricky, and I'm not surprised both runners deciding to go for first person.
Yeah. So this cutscene right here is the most important cutscene in the game for a couple of reasons. The first reason is for an animation set swap. This cutscene is kind of a mask for a very important process that the game must do to swap animation sets for certain models and characters in order for cutscenes later in the game to function properly. If you do not watch this cutscene and you try and watch something that requires that animation set, the game will crash.
Yeah, video free. Correct you. That was the previous cutscene you're referring to. The animation set swap already happened in the cutscene where we freed Errol. That's the one that swaps animation sets.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This cutscene is actually a cutscene that would have crashed if we hadn't watched the cutscene where we freed Errol.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, as Video Freak was mentioning, yeah, that cutscene that we had watched before skipping Helmrock, yeah, that cutscene you have to watch in every single category, or else you can't beat the game. And honestly, this one too, because this cutscene gets us down to Hyrule. So,
yes.
This cutscene we have to watch too anyway. I mean, there's a bunch of mandatory cutscenes in this category. Another interesting one is Forsaken Fortress. When you beat Forsaken Fortress 1, it spawns the boat. And Video Freak, you want to explain what happens in this cutscene if you hadn't watched that?
I believe you just soft lock and like you just start like swimming away very slowly. It looks
so
or does it crash?
This cutscene, you need a boat, or else Tetra can't get out of it. And when she tries to get out of the boat and there's no boat, the game crashes.
The game crashes. Okay, I forgot if it was a soft lock or a crash.
Yeah, there's a bunch of mandatory cutscenes. Alright, so Sabxander's going to be performing the big trick, the barrier skip. Clipping over to the other side. Very nice first try Hyrule clip. Just to skip going into the interior of the castle. And now he's going to be doing the Holy Grail, the barrier skip.
Yep, this trick is insanely precise. Sabxander has to first do a frame-perfect knockback cancel, which he was able to pull off right away, and then set up a very specific angle and speed in order for them to pop through the barrier. Nacho going for the knockback cancel. This is a frame-perfect trick, so it's kind of difficult to get. But once they do that, they can start the item slide. Sabxander looks like he had to readjust his angle, but that second time did work. He was able to pop through the barrier.
Nacho gets this, see if his Nacho's angle is correct.
And it was.
Two. And very nice. Sabxander having a retry barrier skip, not losing that much time to that. Still in the lead, but only by a little bit. Nacho having to back up with a second item slide. He didn't gain enough speed with that last one, so he had to drop and then item slide again. That's only like 1 second. And both runners will be going to get the bombs, which is actually in the Earth Temple Trial. So they're going to be entering the Earth Temple Trial and collecting this lone bomb drop, but that bomb drop actually gives you the bomb item, and that's why they got the bomb bag upgrade, because otherwise they have 0 bombs. So just getting the bombs and item sliding back.
Yeah, there are only 2 spawns of that static bomb in the entire game, and both of them are in this trial.
Okay, Okay, so Sabxander is going to be performing the less risky, the easier ledge clip, while Nacho is going for the roll clip. If Nacho gets this roll clip, he's going to save some time.
But it is frame perfect, and it looks like they failed the first try. Let's see if Sabxander gets first try ledge clip.
Looks like Nacho's risk not pulling off. That roll clip is frame perfect, while the ledge clip is 3 frames. So Sabxander getting it first try. Nacho now backing it up, having to get magic, but not getting enough speed. Nacho struggling with Trow Skip right now, allowing Sabxander to pull away.
So one other thing to note is that both runners have the Master Sword right now. This is a part of the weird way that this game deals with cutscenes. So with the previous cutscene as well, where we saw the Link confront Ganondorf for the very first time, that was the same place where the game checked to see if Link had the Master Sword, because he's supposed to have it during that cutscene. Sees that Link doesn't have the Master Sword, and the game decides, okay, we'll just give you the Master Sword for this cutscene, and then after the cutscene ends, we get to keep it. So that is the first place where that property of cutscenes happens. The second place is going to be coming up here pretty soon, where we'll be getting the Mirror Shield and the fully charged Master Sword.
It's actually very fortunate that that cutscene gives you the Master Sword, because this fight right here, you can't damage Phantom Ganon without the Master Sword. It would just soft lock. You would just be stuck in this room with no way of defeating him, and there'd be no way to get the light arrows. So very fortunate that the game just gives it to us.
Yeah, Sabxander had really good RNG on Phantom Ganon. Phantom Ganon has 3 ways that it can attack you. The first way is surrounding you on the ground. That's the fastest method, because all you have to do is just stab him, and he's directly behind you. The second fastest, is when Ganon does the blue orb for Dead Man's Volley. You can just hit that right back onto him, and he'll fall as long as you're directly beneath him. And the slowest method is Giant Red Ball that you have to spin attack. Sabxander got best RNG for the Phantom Ganon fight. Very good RNG on his end.
Too. Both runners got perfect RNG on Phantom Ganon. So Sabxander is going to be heading up a grand staircase. Because he has the light arrows, he can make quick use of the enemies. Just light arrow them and one-hit KO. Nice double hit from Sabxander on those 2 moblins. Getting stuck. Going for the double hit on the Dark Nuts. I think he's a little disoriented. He's on the wrong side. And that pot only drops arrows, Sabxander, but I don't think you need any arrows. I think you're fine on arrows. That meaty 60 quiver, you really never run out of arrows, so... But yeah, it's just... I think he thought he was on the right side, but he was actually on the left side.
Yeah, or could have made the assumption that magic drops on both sides. Because I didn't know until very recently that those dropped arrows.
Yeah, you want full magic for Puppaganon, because there's a lot of light arrow shots we have to do on Puppaganon, so you really always want to enter with full magic, and you also want at least 2 1/4 hearts, which I believe both runners have. So, not only do you really want to enter with full magic, you have to get RNG magic from the key's second phase, because we only have enough for 8 light arrows, but Puppaganon requires 9, so we have to get RNG magic in the fight too, so that's why runners will have to refill. And also those keys will not drop magic unless you have 2 1/4 hearts, or else will just drop hearts.
Yep. So this is also the cutscene I was mentioning earlier, where you get the fully charged Master Sword and the Mirror Shield. So now we just have those on this file.
Yep. Not useful in this category, but is useful in categories that are longer, like all dungeons and 100%. They will go all the way to Ganon's Tower, and then, fake it like they're gonna go beat the game, and then go back to the overworld and do a bunch of overworld stuff. But just getting the Mirror Shield, for example, from the cutscene makes it so they don't have to get it in Earth Temple.
But it does have a slight drawback with the Master Sword, but that's a whole can of worms.
That's a whole can of worms in itself. So Sabxander will be fighting Puppaganon. First phase is arguably the hardest. You have to shoot the tail at the end while it's a moving target, and normally you're supposed to cut it down, but it's faster to just snipe it. Also, we don't have the boomerang, so the first shot is mandatory. It's guaranteed. It's always the same, but then here it's prediction shots.
Yeah, this is easily the hardest fight in the entire game.
Yeah, Sabxander waiting for the tail to stop moving a little bit as he's going for the punch, which is a pretty easy shot. Missing all of his prediction shots. And they're just going for the second. Oh, missing! Shooting too far to the right. Sabxander's running low on magic. He's got one more shot.
Nacho getting first shot on phase 1. Second shot, nailed it as well.
Nacho can catch up some ground here.
Ooh, just missed the third.
On that shot. Okay, so both runners once again very neck and neck. Sabxander's gonna have to wait an extra phase because he doesn't have any magic. He's gotta wait for peace. Nacho can go for crypt shot, and if he gets it, he's gonna regain a good bit of ground. It looks like these runners are basically neck and neck tied once again. As I mentioned, Sabxander, he unfortunately ran out of magic on first phase, while Nacho making quick work of first phase, regaining a lot of ground. Okay, Nacho going for a fast spider drop cycle, and going for crypt shot. These runners very close to each other. Will Nacho get crypt shot?
He did.
Sabxander getting crypt shot as well.
Ooh, they are literally neck and neck. Nacho is slightly in the lead. Now both runners are going to start damaging down. This is going to be important for the final trick of the run. But for right now, they are getting ready to start Snake Ganon. What they wanted to do is try and end this fight with as low of health as possible. Ideally, a quarter of a heart.
Yep. And there's also a double shot you can hit on this phase. After you stun the snake, will he go for it? You can go behind him and then go for a really cool double shot. Yep,
Nacho's going for Trog. Oh, just missed.
Whoa, what about Sabxander? Will he go for it? No, Sabxander opting out of the Trog shot. He just needs one more stun. Nacho finishing the fight. Sabxander finishing the fight just a few seconds later. Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna go down to Morthhover and possibly Ganondorf.
Oh my gosh, this is so close.
They're literally seconds away from each other. I can't.
This is the closest any run. This is the closest race we've had so far. This is awesome. But yeah, next up they have to do a Morthhover, which this could easily be the defining trick between both runners here. It's RNG dependent based on morphs, which are the little black spiky things. It's RNG dependent on how they behave and where they move, but also they have to do a zombie hover, which is a trick that requires very good button mashing. So that trick in itself is already very difficult. So we'll see how they approach the climb up Ganon's tower, as well as setting up the Morthhover and pulling it off.
Yep, both runners climbing the red rope. You can release the red rope over and over again by mashing A and B. And if you time the mashing pretty well, you can go all the way up the rope. So Nacho's going to be skipping using the grapple with the chain clip. Very, very nice. Sabxander going for it too. Getting it first try too. Very nice from both runners.
They are neck and neck. Oh my god.
Now Sabxander will have to damage down a little bit. Well, Nacho is it's fully damaged down. Nacho opening up the warp pod to be safe. If Sabxander doesn't open the warp pod, he can regain some time. I don't know if he should at this point. Okay, Sabxander opened the warp pod too, and both runners getting a morph on him, and then rolling it off. Oh, that's not very good RNG. Oh. That morph is so far away.
But it does have a morph up.
The morph goes directly backwards for Sabxander. Oh my goodness.
That's such good RNG.
Sabxander was slightly better RNG, but this morph is going kind of slow. Oh my goodness, I don't know which morph will get there fast enough. And Sabxander fully damaged down, Nacho too. They just need to do the hover and they're up.
Yeah, it's RNG as well with how the morph gets blown. It's different on the direction, how high up it goes, how far it goes.
Nacho having issues. His morph just got to the top platform. Sabxander's maybe can go up on this one too. Both morphs at the top. Nacho with a very quick setup. He's gonna go for the hover first.
Nacho starting it. Let's see how it goes. Oh, he missed the lift off!
Oh no! That could cost him! If Sabxander gets this hover, he's probably gonna take the lead with the upset!
Okay, Hush started the hover.
And there he goes!
Let's see if he can make it to the heart.
Pull off the upset over the #1 seed Nacho, getting the hover and going to the loading zone! Sabxander in the clear lead. If he doesn't die to Ganondorf, he will take this match!
Nacho going to attempt the hover again. He did not damage down before heading to this room, so it looks like he's opting to use flame arrows to damage using the Morse. Nacho could try and catch up just in case Sabxander isn't able to pull off the Ganon fight, but this is definitely looking pretty rough for Nacho right now.
Yeah, Nacho needs a miracle. The only way for Nacho to win this race is if Sabxander dies, unfortunately, to Ganondorf, which is possible. Sabxander it will be entering this fight on 1 heart, so anything, including Zelda, if he gets hit by anything, that will lead to death, and then he'll have to re-attempt the hover, because it'll spawn him at the start of the dungeon. So Nacho has to bank on that in order to win this match.
I'm looking at the timer right now, and this is insane. Both of these runs are on really good pace. And the fact that they are neck and neck is a little bit mind-blowing.
As I've mentioned, as the tournament's gone on, we saw sub 120 become more prevalent, and now it's looking like as we've gone to semis, all the semis are being decided with sub 120 runs, and both runners on sub 120 pace right now. Even though Nacho failed that hover, he's still on sub 120 pace. Just a low 120, just not cutting it anymore to win these tournament matches. There we go.
Nacho getting the lift off the second time.
Looks like he'll be able to get this, as long as he gets the heart, which it looks like he's gonna get. He will finish the hover and enter the fight. Very nice from Nacho. So, both runners entering the fight. As I mentioned, if Sabxander takes this fight, he will pull off the upset over the #1 seed Nacho. Will he do it?
So you know how earlier we mentioned that Nintendo was really lazy with cutscenes? This is a really close run, but I did want to mention this very fun little tidbit about this cutscene. The rule of the Triforce is that if you touch it and state your wish aloud, it grants your wish. Ganon doesn't do it because he wasn't touching the Triforce when he says his wish, and it's implied that the king was. However, if you go into free cam, the king never touches the Triforce. He's like 5 feet away. It's very silly.
Alrighty. With the Ganondorf laugh.
His mic clipped out so much. I don't even hear him. I think his mic is clipping too much. Oh no, the noise gate.
I don't know why it's cutting me out.
I think it's the upward noise gate on Discord.
Oh yeah, it's too loud. Stupid Discord.
That was funny though. All right, Sabxander entering the fight.
Will he take this match? Sabxander, I'm not sure. He can go for Zelda Hearts if he feels uncomfortable. But as we know, runners tend to prefer not to go for Zelda Hearts. And we'll see. Sabxander will be starting the Ganondorf fight. Here we go.
No Zelda Hearts, it looks like.
Well, grapple. I think he's going for Zelda Hearts.
Looks like he is, yes. Honestly, with the lead that he has, this is the safest thing to do.
Okay, he's got the hearts. He's got the hearts.
Alright, now he just has to damage down Ganon.
Just gotta talk to Zelda one more time, and he's done with first phase. There we go, there's first phase. He's got 3 hearts. Sabxander's got this in the bag. Second phase, he's gotta deal with Ganondorf on his own without Zelda. Just gotta parry 2 times, or 1 time if he gets a 1 cycle. Well, that 1 cycle, though. No,
Maybe?
not
No, not quite.
parry. Righty, Sabxander with one more phase, and then he will take this match from Nacho, running into the barrier. Oh, Zelda missing. Righty, he just has to shield this attack, and he's got it. Oh, he gets the shield, and GG to Sabxander, advancing to Grand Finals against Ithiel. That's it, boys. GG.
A 117, a 117.11 according to ZSR bot. Oh my goodness, that is what a time!
What a race. What a race. That's incredible. Sabxander taking this because of Nacho's very unfortunate failed Morph Hover. Until that point, these runners were literally neck and neck, just a few seconds apart. It was looking like Nacho actually started the hover before Sabxander, but very unfortunately failed liftoff, allowing Sabxander to take this upset over him. Wow. This was such a close match.
This really was. Wow. That was a little insane. Nacho opting to not go for Zelda Hearts and did get first cycle, first phase Ganon. So, looks like he's getting ready to wrap up the fight pretty quick here. Looks like he didn't have to deal with those single sword swings. Let's see if he can one cycle phase 2. Not quite, it looks like. Looks like he needs to do one more parry. And then Nacho getting ready to finish out the run here.
Nacho's still going to be getting a sub 120. As I mentioned, that's still a very respectable time despite the death.
Nacho getting a little bit of an awkward angle from Zelda and Ganon. Looks like that'll work a lot better.
And Nacho finishing with a 119,
I think 119 flat. I think that's what I saw the sword enter his head. 118.59.
Wow. GG to runners. Both runners getting a sub 120. Even with the failed hover, this was still very, very close. Honestly, what an amazing race to watch.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was really, really awesome.
Honestly, I can't believe how close this race was until the very end.
Yeah.
Can we get both runners in here, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Get in here.
Guys.
Hello.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Nacho.
My heart, dude. Dude. I didn't
run, Sabxander. Holy crap.
Holy shit, GG Nacho, you played amazing. Oh my god, my hands are shaking.
Yeah, both of you.
Worse than with fake.
Right, but Nacho, you were just about 3 seconds in the lead when you were attempting that Morph hover. I'm not sure if you were aware.
He's speechless. We can't hear you.
Yeah.
We were neck and neck basically the whole run.
The entire time. Like, there were moments where you were ahead for a bit. There were moments where Nacho pulled ahead for a bit. But, like, wow, that ending was... It literally did all come down to the hover.
It all came down to the one single hover. Oh my god.
Yeah, Sabxander, you had a slight lead at the start, but only by a few seconds, and then you really started pulling ahead a bit during FF1, especially because of the early light cycle. And then Nacho was able to catch up and even take the lead after Dragoneer's Cavern by a bit. Well, you guys were neck and neck after Dragoneer's Cavern because Nacho had a big cleaner of a Dragoneer's Cavern than you, and then both of you getting first try fairy clips on both of the. I think you had like a void out on the rock clip, but getting and then first try island hops. And both of you struggling a bit on door clip though, but very clean Forsaken Fortress movement.
Yeah, door clip is just awful.
Yeah,
we both got in like 5 tries or so.
Yeah. Dirtclip was really the only major time loss on both sides. Everyone else was very clean.
Until
I'm just sad because this would have gotten like 111 with a better door clip and with paw storage.
Yep.
Now I'm never gonna get a run like this. Obviously, I get in a race.
Nah, you've got it. You got it one time. You can get it again.
I
If you
hope
guys
so.
are not fully aware, Sabxander just learned MSS, and he in
Yeah.
his first day of runs got sub 1, which is unheard of.
Yeah,
So,
that's when
if you guys
you came into my chat and told me that, I was floored to be.
I was very happy with that. Dude, 3 insane days for me. Getting MSS, getting a sub 1, winning the race against Nacho. Even though we both played amazing. So
off the upset, I can't believe it. It's incredible. Because yeah, Nacho's the #1 seed, and he is officially been eliminated from the tournament.
So it's
yeah,
gonna
I
be.
can't believe it.
So it looks like it will be Sabxander versus Scythiel in the grand finals here.
In like 36 minutes or so, right?
Something like that.
Yep, Sabxander just improving every single race. It's just every time you do a run, you're just miles ahead of where you were before.
I think I'm just lucky with this one. I haven't failed anything. I've practiced a bit, and yeah, consistency finally showed off.
And this next race will definitely be interesting too, because it'll be a full-on late bombs versus bomb skip contest.
bomb skip.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that match? How do you feel about grand final, Sabxander?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if Stifil, sorry, plays to the level we both play, me and Nacho, and also gets the bomb skip, then I might get doomed. That would probably get a 115 or so if he actually plays amazing. So I know I'm nervous for that.
So I guess we're gonna have to bank on Scythiel failing bomb skip, aren't we?
Yeah.
Possibly. There's a lot of things that could go wrong in these runs. Those tree clips, they were done first try, but that is an extremely difficult trick. Very, very precise. Beetle swim is very tricky. Door clip, both runners had trouble on, and that's always a very difficult trick. So there's definitely a lot that can still separate the runners from the next race here. So we'll need to see how that progresses when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Is not I don't think Nacho's mic works, or is he just not preferring to talk?
Yeah, we
think
can't
that-
hear Nacho at all.
Yeah, we
and your
can't hear you. Nacho.
mic's not lighting up either.
Okay, there we go. I think
There
I
you go.
fixed.
Yeah,
You're
now we
fine.
can hear you. Let me
I
turn
was
you
just
up a little bit.
say, guys, that I got to get off. But you Zap, it was a great race, and I wish you the best of luck on grand finals. I hope you win because you've been playing amazing, dude.
It was a fluke, bro. I can't believe it. It's 4 minutes faster than the Audi Killer race.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And thanks, of course, for the commentators. It was really entertaining to run, against Zap, and be hearing you guys in the background as well. It was really, really fun, and thank you guys for helping us with that as well.
Yeah, thank you guys for commentating. I really appreciate it. Really good commentator. I've been keeping the stream the whole run. I was like listening to you guys. Great commentary.
Thank you guys for the entertaining races. Just super close. And thank you so much for participating in this tournament. This is the first ever ZSR hosted Windmaker HD tournament, and hopefully we've done one other tournament before, but it wasn't finished. It was never completed, and it's looking like this is going to be the first ever completed Windmaker HD tournament. Really, such a big achievement for our community.
For the community, pretty proud of that. And for you all and Josh as well to gather everything together to put this tournament together, that's really good. Like, props out to you, man. That's really big for our community.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely hope we get to do more.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's been really fun.
we're more to come after this. Should not be our last tournament. This should be our first.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely is stay around. I mean, we're gonna be having grand finals in about half an hour from now.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
stick around.
Yeah, I gotta do something. My nerves are over the roof at the moment.
Go make some tea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can't play.
Uh, GG's again, dude. I'm
Too
gonna be
intense
heading
for
out.
me.
So yeah, thanks Sap, thanks Alberto and Video Freak for the commentary. I'll see you guys in chat for grand finals. See ya.
Okay, bye
Yeah.
Nacho. Thanks
Nacho.
for racing.
All right,
Amazing performance.
I believe
Oh,
right
but
now we are going to go ahead and hand it over to the next raid here. Looks like we will be raiding the main ZSR channel. They're doing some Ocarina of Time randomizer qualifiers. I was watching them earlier before this run, and my brain broke a little bit, so they're very, very fun to watch. So we'll go ahead and raid over there, and we'll see all y'all for grand finals here starting at 1 p.m. EST.
Yep, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye bye.